First, Robinhood is turning Silicon Valley's most exclusive VIP room into a $25 stock.
Then the ski industry's surprising plan to survive with way less snow.
And why the most viral cup in history is ditching Pilates for Patrick Bateman.
What a team, boy. 3 fantastic stories, Jack. Let's hit the pod. This is Nick.
This is Jack.
It's Thursday, the new Friday, February 19th, and today's pod is the best one yet. This is a T-Boy.
The top 3 pop business news stories you need to know today.
I'm sorry, Jack. February, shortest month of the year, but also biggest month of the year.
Started with the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Then the Winter Olympics. Then the 4-game NBA All-Star Game tournament.
Okay, but it's also Black History Month, Lunar New Year, Mardi Gras, and we just started Ramadan yesterday.
Happy fast to all our Yetis fasting right now. But Nick, Lent started yesterday. So I'm actually withholding sugar for 40 days.
Well, I'm eating twice as much sugar. February, keep looking fantastic. Jack, let's hit our 3 stories. For our first story, Robinhood is IPOing again. This time, though, it's for their first ever venture fund.
We call it the People's VC because anyone can invest. And now we finally know what unicorn stocks you can get a piece of.
Now, besties, it's not deja vu. We did cover this when it was breaking news. Robinhood's first ever venture fund back in September.
They announced it back then, and it was consistent with their mission to democratize finance for all.
Jack, could you use an analogy here with, I don't know,
with my dad's favorite band?
Yeah, I would say your dad's favorite Irish band, Jack.
Okay, Bono made more money investing in Facebook pre-IPO than he did with his music.
That's the power of pre-IPO investing. The lead singer of U2 made more money with one Facebook investment than he did on Vertigo.
Well, now, with this publicly traded venture capital fund that Robinhood's building, you can be like Bono, invest in top startups through this fund.
But Jack, I gotta pause the pod for a sec. Back in September, we warned the Yetis that the devil is in the deals.
In other words, what companies will this VC fund get you access to? Is it going to be SpaceX or is it going to be Space Y?
Yeah, you don't want Space Y.
Well, Robinhood told us this week.
Yes, they did. The fund has already taken stakes in Databricks, Aura Ring, Stripe, even Robinhood's rival Revolut. Robinhood now owns shares of it.
It also owns stock in Boom Supersonic, which is a jet company, and Ramp, a fintech company, and a couple other startups you probably haven't heard of yet.
Should point out there's no SpaceX, there's no Anthropic, and there's no investment in OpenAI. Yet.
But Nick and I jumped in T-Boy style to the prospectus for this new stock, and it did say the word space 19 times and AI 77 times.
So Robinhood is hoping to get their hands on some of those red-hot private companies before they IPO, probably later this year.
Once this thing launches next week, this new fund will invest in at least 10 private companies, and no single name will represent more than 20% of the assets.
Add it all up, and basically Robinhood has created a stock of startups.
Now, Nick and I were very interested in how this VC would be packaged and sold to us retail investors. And now we know, through an IPO.
So Jack, let me just clarify this for a sec. Publicly traded Robinhood is now creating a new company and using that company to buy stocks in private companies and then IPOing that fund to be a publicly traded stock,
which you can buy on Robinhood.
I feel like Christopher Nolan, it's finance inception. What is going on, Jack?
You just said what's going on. So next week, they're going to sell 35 million shares of this new Robinhood Venture Fund to Robinhood users at $25 per share. And then on February 26th, it will begin trading like any other stock.
And how is Robinhood going to make money on this new publicly traded venture capital fund?
By charging a 2% fee on the holdings.
Yeah, interestingly, Robinhood is not taking a 20% share of the profits of the fund, which a venture capitalist would typically do.
But this does represent a big jump in maturity for Robinhood.
Yes, it does.
From purely transaction-based revenue to recurring fee revenue.
Basically from dating style revenue to marriage quality revenue. And that is why we think it's a mature move for Robinhood.
So the stock is going to be RVI, that's the ticker symbol, trading on New York Stock Exchange starting February 26th.
Okay, but Jack, what will this stock of startups actually be worth at the end of the day?
It should be the sum of the valuations of the private companies that it's invested in.
You add up Databricks, Aura stock, Stripe stock, Revolut stock, that should be the value of this new venture capital stock.
But what it should be worth, it kind of doesn't compute to the retail investor crowd that's trading meme stocks on Robinhood.
Yeah, could this thing go to the moon? And what does that mean? So Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Robinhood?
The private stock market is the most exclusive VIP section in finance, but a door just opened for meme traders.
Yeah, they just got bottle service. Besties, let's talk valuation numbers here. If Robinhood's venture capital fund owns stocks in 10 private companies and each is worth $1 billion, the sum of the shares should be $10 billion.
That's what the valuation should be. But as a publicly traded stock, there's no telling how Robinhood's VC will trade and at what price.
Like Jack, Robinhood's venture capital fund could trade like Tesla. It could be given a way higher price than the underlying profits justify.
Or it could be treated like GameStop, a price completely divorced from the underlying businesses it owns.
Basically, what we're saying is it would be interesting to see if Robinhood's venture capital stock trades at a huge premium to its actual book value.
And if Robinhood's VC becomes a meme stock?
Oh boy, mooning over here.
I mean, I don't know how that could mess with the whole private capital valuation market. I honestly don't know. This is Pandora's box.
Something tells me people will be pretty happy though. Besties, this stock of startups, it is a first of its kind and we hope it succeeds. And honestly, we hope Robinhood launches more of them.
Because Nick and I getting a piece of Robinhood stock pre-Robinhood IPO, that was a life-changing moment for the two of us.
Yes, it was. And now Robinhood's opening a new door into finance's most private VIP room. For our second story, Colorado's ski resorts are having their worst season ever. It's peak ski, and yet over half of the trails are closed.
So how can we save the ski industry right now? By adding fences and being more like Fenway Park.
Fences in Fenway. But besties, before Jack and I start a ski story today, we should point out, it's a bittersweet, complicated day in the entire skiing industry, right, Jack?
In the Sierra Nevadas, just outside of Tahoe, 8 people died in an avalanche this week, which is an absolute tragedy.
And yet, on the other side of the world, Michaela Schifrin, best skier in the world and Colorado native, finally won gold medal in the slalom yesterday.
And she won it by 1.5 seconds. A great moment for Michaela.
But it is a good thing that Colorado is not hosting the Winter Olympics in 2026. And Jack, what's the good reason there?
There's no snow.
Yeah, they're snow bankrupt right now.
Arapahoe Basin, the third highest ski resort in the U.S. by elevation, has just 35% of its terrain open right now.
On the other hand, over in Vermont, they're having a good but bitter cold ski season, and Utah's doing okay out there.
But Breckenridge is snow broke right now.
They had a ski weekend last weekend. You know what we're talking about.
The technical term for what's happening in the ski season in Colorado is gnarly, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's gnarly.
And it hurts financially for the resorts, the bartenders, and the Airbnb hosts too.
But besties, there is one publicly traded ski stock, a pure play powder stock, if you will, and that is Vail.
Vail Resorts is a $5 billion company. It owns 5 Colorado ski resorts and like 50 more all across the world.
It's worth almost one lift, and they announced in January that visits are down 20% through January 4th, which is a problem.
It's because of the lack of snow. But lift revenue is only down 2%.
So how is that bizarre situation happening, besties? Well, it's because of non-refundable ticket sales and your classic season passes.
You paid for your skiing before Thanksgiving, before you had any idea how much snow there would be.
More on that in the takeaway. But besties, what is happening in Colorado this season is going to happen to the entire ski industry with increasing frequency.
Because of climate change. So we're phoning our friend Charles Darwin.
Chucky Darwin!
And we're looking at the ski resorts that are adapting best to a world with less snow.
And the responses, the options, the creativity is wild. But Jack, let's start with the obvious one first. Let's start with the snowmaking.
Vail is investing $100 million this year in CapEx so that they can turn their water ponds into man-made snow when it doesn't dump.
But here's the wild part. Each one of those water-to-snow guns has a built-in weather station. It turns on when freezing, and it turns off when it's too warm out.
To maximize efficiency. But there's still a problem, Nick, of not being enough water to turn into snow.
Yeah, you see that drought that's causing the lack of snow. It's also caused the lack of rain, which means they can't convert the rain into snow.
Which leads to a shocking survivor of this snowpocalypse. It's called Monarch Mountain in Colorado, which has 100% of their terrain open right now, despite the lack of snow.
And they're doing it without any man-made snow. I'm sorry, Jack, sit down, stand up, and sit back down on the gondola again. How is that possible in the world of physics and economics?
It's an all-natural mountain. And according to the Denver Post, there's 100% covered in snow because of snow fences.
We repeat, fences for snow.
They have 80 portable fences they set up on the side of the trail that captures snow being blown by the wind in drifts and then the snow machines spread them out across the whole trail.
It's created a natural snow oasis at Monarch Mountain, Colorado. Oh, another winner, by the way, Jay Peak over in Vermont.
They built a water park at the resort for when the snow stinks.
Jack, how about our buddies over at Breckenridge?
They have an outdoor roller coaster that operates year-round, even if it's 10 degrees out.
So Jack, add it all up and I'm seeing concerts, competitions, comedy shows, basically anything to entertain the visitors who are bummed about the snow bankruptcy situation.
It's the new business model of skiing.
Yeah.
Skiing is increasingly secondary.
Right.
Bells and whistles keep the customers coming even when the snow doesn't.
That's right. It works for Disney World. It could work for Beaver Creek, too.
Which reminds us of something the Yankees are doing.
Sounds like our takeaway, brah.
Again, that's not how skiers talk.
Jack, I did my bachelor party in Park City. I got how skiers talk, brah. Nothing wrong with a 1 p.m. after party. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Vail in the ski industry?
For ski resorts to survive, they have to be more like the Sox.
Yeah, the Red Sox. Commiserate in bad seasons. Celebrate the good ones, but be paying customers no matter what.
2/3 of Vail's ticket revenue is sold before the season begins, thanks to the Epic Pass and non-refundable single-day tickets.
Well, Jack and I noticed that is similar to the 70 to 80% of Major League Baseball ticket sales that come from season ticket holders.
If the Red Sox have a bad season, you already spent your money and you hope for better luck next year.
You know what? It's kind of the same with the ski resorts these days.
Management's job at both baseball teams and ski resorts is to minimize the torture of a bad season by distracting customers with other stuff to do.
The concerts, the competitions, the shows. You book summer weddings to help offset the lost revenue from people who canceled the ski trips.
Half the time, being a Sox fan is torture. Increasingly, it feels the same with skiing.
But Red Sox Nation pays up no matter what. And for ski resorts to survive, yeah, they need to do the same.
They need to adopt baseball's business model.
Now, a quick word from our sponsor.
For our third and final story, Stanley Quencher, the most viral drinking product of the last 5 years, it isn't viral anymore.
So Stanley's not just pivoting from women to men. Stanley is pivoting to black gym bags for guys who are protein maxing.
Besties, over the last 3 years, the ultimate female zillennial status symbol was a 40-ounce can that could survive getting run over by a tank.
Well, I think you're talking about the Stanley tumbler.
Yes, I am, Jack. Good point.
Saturday Night Live called it the Big Dumb Cup, and I was a little offended because I do have 2 of them.
Yeah, and it's kind of part of like the Zillennial brand trilogy. You know, it pairs well with a Sephora haul and an SUV.
And a big dumb hat.
But let's talk numbers, Yetis, because when we covered Stanley back in 2021, the revenues had jumped 275%. In 2024, they were doing $750 million in revenue.
The Rose Quartz Stanley Quencher basically ran your Pilates studio.
But here's the problem, besties. Despite their beautiful new color innovations and collabs with Wicked, Stanley stopped sharing their revenue numbers just last year.
Our guess? Everyone who wanted a Stanley tumbler got a Stanley tumbler.
And according to Piper Sandler's famous survey of teen spending habits, Owala is the new Stanley.
So Stanley's decided to pivot to dudes. Their new product lineup launched this week and it clearly targets guys.
Oh, it clearly does. Here's the question. Can Stanley become manly?
Last week, Nick and I noticed the colors of the tumblers were changing.
Jack, is that cup tiger lily red? I'm sorry, is that what that is?
No, it's Atlanta Falcons red, Nick.
Ah, that was interesting, but more fascinating is that Stanley has pivoted their whole product lineup.
The product that launched this week is a waterproof tote backpack, a gym bag, and a giant protein shaker.
Each come in a classically female Stanley color, but also come in black, matte black, and that's what they're advertising.
Each bag has a special pocket to hold your new Stanley protein shaker from when you leave the gym.
They're heavy, they're edgy, they are more Patrick Bateman than they are Pilates. And it's not just the dark design here, Yetis, it's also, interestingly, the partnerships.
A couple years ago, they did a floral collaborative cup with Love Shack Fancy.
Instead, though, now Stanley's sponsoring Lionel Messi and Paris's top soccer club.
So from style to product to partners, Stanley has injected their product with testosterone.
But besties, the most ironic part of this entire story, it's that Stanley launched 113 years ago for working men.
And now they're pivoting to working out men.
So if you add it up, this is really Stanley's second pivot.
Women made Stanley relevant again, but they need guys to keep it alive.
So Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Stanley?
If everyone's a member of the club, Nick, then no one lines up to get in.
Now, Yetis, it is possible that Stanley's taking a lesson here from Apple. If you find the right hero product, then just sell accessories for it.
Stanley's hero product is the 40-ounce tumbler. And these gym bags, well, they help you take it on the go.
Okay, but what we think is missing is the club element. Can Stanley convince guys that it's exclusive?
Stanley became a status symbol not because the mug is so expensive, but because that mug was exclusive.
Totally. Having the latest color, style, the crystal-coated quencher you could only get at Target, that signaled you were on the inside.
But once every woman had a Stanley and they could be bought anywhere, it didn't feel as special anymore.
So, besties, the real challenge here isn't selling protein mugs and backpacks to that guy on the go.
It's how do you make men feel like Stanley is a club that they would line up to get into?
Jack, could you whip up the takeaways for us for the new Friday?
Colorado is having its worst ski season ever, but snow fences are helping it do more with less snow.
It's a snow bankruptcy, so resorts are realizing they need to be more like baseball. Good season or bad season, fans will pay either way.
For our second story, Robinhood's second IPO is for the People's VC Fund. It's already got Oura Ring and Revolut in there, but no SpaceX or Anthropic yet.
Either way, it's a door into finance's VIP section that anyone can now walk through.
And our third and final story, Stanley's 40-ounce mug is no longer viral, so they're pivoting to men with black gym gear.
From wellness girlies to gym guys, but remember that no one lines up for a club if everyone is already inside.
But besties, this pod's not over yet. Here's what else you need to know today.
First, James Dolan, who inherited Madison Square Garden from his dad, owns and controls both the New York Knicks and the New York Rangers.
And he announced yesterday that he's considering spinning off the Knicks and the Rangers into two separate publicly traded companies.
I mean, Jack, my chats are blowing up on this. We might have a Knicks Inc. and a Rangers Inc. publicly traded stocks. What kind of ticker symbol are you thinking here? Puck?
Dunk for the Knicks. And I don't know hockey. That's your department.
Now, we should clarify, MSGE is already a publicly traded company, Madison Square Garden, the publicly traded company, and it already owns both teams.
Second, rent control laws are gaining traction across America's biggest cities.
The news is that Boston's mayor endorsed a statewide cap on rent increases to match inflation.
Washington, D.C. passed a rent cap into law last year, and New York and L.A. are moving to do the same.
Now, Econ Theory says that the true solution is to build more homes, but with that not happening right now, rent caps are gaining popularity even if they don't solve the root problem.
And finally, Erewhon, the trendy, pricey grocery store in LA, just launched the world's healthiest smoothie.
That is their terms. Their lawyers actually let them say that.
Can't believe their lawyers approved it.
Erewhon is famous for the Hailey Bieber smoothie, which Jack and I have indulged in. It was a write-off, but this one is not backed by a celebrity. It's backed by 160 scientists.
According to Erewhon, it has no filler, no aesthetic-only superfoods, looking at you, Kale, and no shortcuts in the recipe either.
Yeah, but like the Hailey Bieber smoothie, it costs $25 because, like Jack and I have said when it comes to branding, there's always opportunity in the extremes. Now, time for the best fact yet. This one sent in by Catherine Caldwell from lovely Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and it's one of the many facts that got sent in after we did a story on the profits of martinis.
Shaken or stirred?
Yeah.
In a poll on Spotify, 4 times more people said they ordered their martini shaken, not stirred.
Okay, but the correct way to order a martini is actually stirred because it takes longer but tastes smoother as a final product.
Several bartenders commented that we got that wrong in our story. So.
Okay, which leads to the big question. Why does James Bond, the legendary 007, order his martinis shaken instead of stirred?
According to the original Ian Fleming novels, it's because he was in a rush.
Yeah, you know, someone could kill him. He didn't have time to have a martini stirred.
But he did have time for a martini.
Besties, remember to buy your Girl Scout cookies right now. Load up on those Samoas. And if you haven't yet, tell a buddy, HYHTBOY. That's how we grow the show.
Nick and I will see you tomorrow.
Have you heard the best one yet? Before we go, a happy 6th birthday to legendary Yeti Ellington Millender, the kindergartner CEO in Burlingame, California.
Happy birthday to Kurt Peters, turning 26 in Pella, Iowa, and celebrating with the legendary fiancée, Laura.
And Peter Collins, enjoy the best birthday yet over on the Upper West Side. Enjoy some Levan cookies.
Happy birthday to Sidra Smith in Denver, Colorado.
And Ashley Lundgren celebrating the big day over in Vegas.
And to Austin Alfaro, you are looking fantastic running into your 31st year over in California.
And Malvika Mehra, enjoy that 23rd birthday in Mumbai, India. Thanks for celebrating with us all the way across the world.
Happy anniversary to Melissa and Gilberto Chaidez in Aurora, Illinois.
And Emily Harrison and Adam Goldblum are closing on a condo in White Plains. The cats are pumped. And we are too. Congrats, guys.
Good luck and congratulations to Sean Little and Nick DiFrancesco, who are leading the Pennsylvania DECA State Career Development Conference.
Have a great competition in Hershey. You got this, guys. And thanks for all the HYHTBOYs.
And congrats to Kavi Mystery, the 14-year-old who's launching a side hustle in the United Kingdom on Etsy.
It's called The Printed Craft, 3D printed objects that look incredible. Congrats, Kavi. We love the side hustle.
This is Jack. Nick and I both own stock of Airbnb, Apple, and Robinhood.